Hello, everybody out there. I'm just waiting for people to come. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Jen. Good to see you. Just waiting for a few more people to come. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's a very powerful necklace. Good morning, Prime 3.
I quit early. Give up. See them.
We had all the mowers outside going this morning and they just stopped. So we'll be grateful for that. I, I would like to know, did everybody who's on already have a lot of contemplation this week? Okay, let me see. What's our time? Oh, we're right at 10 o'clock. Okay. Good morning, Tanya. How are you? Rita, good morning. Yes, you did have contemplation. Is that what you're responding to? I'm doing very well. How about yourself? Great. You know, it's such a beautiful time in the universe. So, really, if we can wake up every morning feeling all the light that's pouring in through various, how many of you see different rays of light through the day? That's God's bringing his deliverance of his awareness into our earth plane. So, if we can become awake to that and begin to allow that to touch us, that's another thing that's going to help our world shift. I'm just giving people a minute to get on. Mhm. Oh, wonderful. You've been taking walks along the ocean, I assume? Or maybe in the woods? Yeah, they're alive. This necklace is, I was going to mention earlier, and right now I'm in a different space, so I can't remember. Do you remember, any of you ever see the movie The Little Buddha? And there were three children that it was a decision on which one got the blessing from the Buddha who passed, and all three held a piece of it. And one was a little blonde haired American boy, and he now has an organization out in California. And they go around to expos. At least they used to. They don't do it as much. And what he was an architect as he grew up, but he used his energy to build things to help people grow. And this is actually the same one he wears. So it's very powerful. And he's created a village of this unique kind of building, and he makes things for you to sleep under. And it's quite an interesting thing. I'll put it up on my community page who they are. Um, the name is, but that's who it is that is in charge. He's married a beautiful woman, and he's known to be the Maitreya. He actually helps like 350 monasteries all around the world, because it is the belief that that's part of what he's uh, working with in his life, also all of us. So I am not Buddhist, but I understand Buddhist and love some of the perceptions that they hold. Good morning, Warby. All right, it's 5 after. I'm going to start with our lecture for the day, and it's all about the breath. So let's remember what we're talking about here is how we're going to remake your life in a short period of time. What better way than for you to understand how the thought you have becomes created? So, as we think about breath, let's move back to the beginning of time. It is known that we have a garment of light that God gave us, but maybe we've forgotten that who breathed breath in us was God. He created the matter, the form, and then he took a huge breath and gave us that breath. So when we breathe that oxygen, and it's doing much more than what we see in the medical way, but it's giving us that ability to create. How about that? Not everybody may know that, but it's a powerful thing. I want to describe the real self to you. And the real self is in the subconscious mind, superconscious mind, whatever it may be for you. But it's an individual who's come to where they simply express God. Okay? Now, the divine man has many bodies over it, but let's remember it is built through the conscious and subconscious mind because that's where our thoughts lie. The more beautiful those thoughts are, the more beauty and the essence of God we have become. So that's what my journey with you is today. I don't want to overwhelm you each time we come, so let's make this simple. We're going to learn about breath and how you can change how it functions for you. All right? The true self, we talked about the real self. The true self is the God self. It is you as you're attempting to grow, as you are looking within, hopefully loving what you find. And that is the challenge in the healing. We get so angry sometimes and so upset. We want to be in denial. And some things have been locked away in all of us for a very long time. And those things that have been in there for a long time are going to be the greatest experience when it's all revealed, and the hallelujah and I can feel so calm. Well, those thoughts came from over time and us just randomly letting them move through your process, not even thinking that they're creating you. They're determining what you're radiating out into the world. Because that body of breath, the prana, the vital force of who you are, is emanating what goes through the mind. It's really quite a beautiful experience to understand how it all works. Let me see, we've had a few more join us. Oh, it's Rita. Oh, wow, I felt the power. Beautiful. Good. All right. So, what we understand then is our thoughts must become in perfect harmony. Now, let's think. Can any of us raise our hand on that? Probably not. But don't we all desire to? That is the goal. And it's all from what you think and how you manage it. You become the manager of the thoughts. If you don't, you will never attain understanding. Understanding, remember that word. We cannot truly grow to who we want to become without an understanding of where it came from. When we do a healing, it's to ask ourselves, what was so motivating in that moment to negatively motivate me to hold that destructive idea? And when that is what you can embrace and bring light to, then it has done its job. And it need not be there any longer to remind you, because you can always choose love. And as you're longer on your path, even when you realize, well, I can choose love, it's not always so easy to face what's so deep in denial or what's motivated by something other than love. So here is our challenge. But to seek to know who you are, which in truth is divinity, but you must go through the jungle, the darkness, that which over lifetimes you've laid seeds and they're growing. And you have certain things that seem to happen over and over again. Oh, here we are again. I know what's happening. This is when you need to stop and breathe a new life into it, a new life into yourself, and make a change. And I believe the more I help you understand that and help you experience how to do that, the more possibilities are. We're all going to change our lives to the positive, into a divine law of attraction, law of harmony, law of being truth. All right? You know what I learned in so many years working with so many people? Let's say I had 15 people scheduled for the week, and the first one would start with an issue about a love. The next one would come, and that issue was about a love. And when I got to the end of the week and I realized I talk about love all week, it's like there are times where that paradigm of a certain pattern must move through the earth to be released. Now, consciously, we have no awareness of that. But it's true, because that pranic breath, that vital force, isn't just ours, it's through the earth. And we all have and are like the one. We are all one. So the pattern could have reached a point of saturation, of being released. It was time for everybody to let it go. But is it that easy? No. But that's a situation I'm sharing with you to know you're not alone. There is not any pattern or negative disruption in your world that you can look at that hasn't happened before. We've all been everything, done everything. And why? Because that's how we could heal that 144,000 pieces of living thoughts within each of us is by touching them and by embracing them and feeling free and accepted, because we don't only want to be lovable, we want to accept who we are. All right, good. So I want to talk a little bit more about the prana. I got to be honest with you. Until I was taught, I didn't know about prana. Maybe you've heard the word. But let's take a minute and look at them. All right. There are 5 major pranas that I'm going to talk about. And prana itself, and that name, is located in the heart. Let's think about that. And what does it do? Talking, laughing, being creative, the artist. Um, you may say to me, well, I don't have any of those gifts. Well, I'm going to say to you, maybe you haven't opened that prana to flow through you yet to have that gift. I used to work and people would say to me, well, why aren't you smiling? Are you sad? And I'm thinking, I'm just perfectly fine. I don't know. I mean, I heard it repetitively. Went to Thailand, balanced, came home, and I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop smiling. I was in peace and harmony. And that's the life that we're going to change for you. Is once we can get these parts of ourselves from being stuck, if that's a word you want to use, or in hesitation, then it's going to flow, because the breath is the life. It is the breath of life. Now there's the Apana Prana. It is located in the anus, and it's about letting anything you food and drink move through you. So now you can tell me how this affects people, right? People with intestinal issues. That prana is not into alignment with the breath, you see? It's not just breathing in life and letting it move. The Udana prana is about the throat. You ever get hiccuping and you wonder why? Do you ever have those 10 sneezes in a row? Are you one of those? Oh, it's allergies. No, it's your Udana prana having congestion, having negative stoppages, preventing it from coming. Good morning, Ivalise. Blessings to you. Good to see you. And I know I said your name wrong again. It's Evilise. Thank you. So, the next prana is the Vyana prana. Vyana. Now, it is all your joints. Do you see how our mind has begun to believe that there's something other ways we can blame our joints getting stiff? No. It's about your breath in your joints. And where do we stop living at as what is known in our world as aging? We stop moving. We stop believing it's safe to do things we do. But if we can breathe breath, it will help pain. It will help the stiffness, the joints, the Vihana prana. I know you're already hearing, I can hear it saying to me, well, how do I do that? We're going to get to that. But awareness is a gift that no one can ever take from you. And I agree. I don't know that you'll ever always remember this. But you'll remember your breath is important. And that is the important thing. That you want to breathe through even your wrist. Most of you know I crushed my wrist when I was last in Shasta in like 22 pieces. It was busted up. A year and a half later, my therapist spent a year and a half telling me she would never get the use of it back. 2 weeks after I stopped working with her, my fingers moved, my wrist moves, everything's fine. So there was a thought there that as I worked with her, with what happened, I began to believe that she knew what she was doing. But you see, she didn't know about thought. And that's okay. Most of us don't. But if I would instead, which I did know and chose to not, which is another big lesson, just believe that God would heal my hand. And he did. You wouldn't know that it was my left hand, right? I mean, we could never get my fist closed. That's how it was. So, let's talk a little bit differently about prana and how it moves through the body. How many of you have heard of the Sushumna? The Sushumna is the channel from your crown down into your root. Okay? Well, there's two little surprises in that channel, the Ida and the Pingala. And the three of those pranic sources do a little dance inside you. And what makes them move and sit in different ways is your thought. So let's say it's a day that maybe you're stiff, and so maybe the Ida and the Pingala are all twisted up together. It's about getting them to where the Pingala is connected to your right brain, your Ida is connected to the left brain. Some say the Sushumna is God, the Pingala is mother because it has an ability to create. And if you have writer's block, you want to go and work with your Pingala and get it moving and untwisted. And the Ida is us, the child. So let's just think about that channel for a moment and let them all have movement and let them all kind of have a dance, but in unification. And when we grow in consciousnness, it is the Sushumna that expands. It could be a very tiny little thing. And mine's 26 miles wide now. Who would think? So every time you grow and begin to understand how to be awake in thought, which is about consciousness, you hold more light paradigm that spins quicker, 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 and it's going to expand. End result, a different life, a different perception of life, a different action of life through you. Negative thoughts, negative situations that we empower create fluctuations in the flow of prana within you. Think about that. Negative ones that have, those ones you'll go, oh, yeah, on a bad day. Oh, I'm having a bad day. Well, have a bad day too often, and life is going to get real heavy. Not to blame anybody. It's because you weren't awake to understand, no, that thought doesn't exist for you in your breath. And you let the violet flame blaze it away. That's how you change life. All right, let me see. Anyone else here? Good. Well, I hope you're enjoying this talk. So, we're going to talk about how we harmonize this breath now. It's very easy. You know, some people follow meditations because they think it is about the breath, and that is not true. It's not about how you breathe, it's about how and what you do with thoughts, with the breath. You see? So, we're going to do a little exercise here together. We're going to hold a thought. And it's one that I gave you last week, so nothing new. Universal life flows through me now. So let's contemplate. What would that look like? Universal life flows through me now. I want you to dwell on it. That's number one. If you want to write these down for yourself, number one is dwell upon the thought. If you're going to go to create your life and write positive things. So as you grow to develop it, I want you to think of that and then exhale all the air you can. Get it all out. And then I want you to begin to breathe rhythmically. Breathe air into the solar plexus and let it move out. Into the solar plexus and let it move out. Good. Bring balance. And now again, think of universal life flows through me. Again, you see the pictures changed. Maybe now you see the crystal water and the wind blowing in the trees. It's not going to be about what made the personality happy. It's going to be about what made your divine self happy and peaceful. And when you're ready, I want you to take a deep breath and just breathe it out into the universe and to anyone else that's a participant in your desire. The universe takes notice when divine pranic light, the vital force of a human, is expressed in that way. So now you have a partner in the development of your thought. So let's take a simpler thought. This is one I like. I am the love I'm looking for. So let's just dwell upon it for a moment. Number one. Number two, when I'm ready, I'm going to just exhale all the air that's holding that within me. Number three, I'm going to begin to breathe rhythmically. Bring air into your solar plexus and out. Solar plexus and out. Solar plexus and out. And then we'll bring the thought back to us. I am the love I'm looking for. And breathe that to move through your entire body. It'll go into the prana, into the heart, and out over nadis, just like the nervous system. Oh, hello. I'm the one I'm looking for. I get it. And the disempowering of self by empowering other people will begin to end. You see? I am the one I'm looking for. Let's breathe it into the universe. What did that do? Do you see? I just went into a smile. I am the one I'm looking for. Are you the one you're looking for? I hope so, because it's possible. I'm not suggesting you do something that, oh, I can't do that. That's too hard. People know it's not too hard. We just did it together. So there's a few new people I see here. Gigi, thank you for coming. Rebecca, good morning. Light and love to you also. And who would like to tell me how that felt? Anybody? Carol, how'd that feel for you? I know you'll speak to me. Oh, maybe not today. Well, this is about breath and thought and how you use them to create your world. Evelise, it felt great. Thank you. Felt release from Gigi. Thank you. Peaceful and joyful from Rita. Yvonne, hello. Uplifting. Jen, felt good and yes, simple. And you're smiling too. It's a natural go, ladies. It's a natural go. So we want to keep this simple because every week we're going to go in a little deeper and do some creating this week. Positive things. Simple. You want to watch, you don't put personal attitude in them. You saw that, right? You have personality and you have your divine self. I'm going to explain one more thing to you. Your personality is your bottom 4 chakras: root, second, third. The heart is a twister, it can go either way. From the heart up is your divine self. That part of you who most likely is beginning to contemplate and think in the 5th dimension. And that's where we want it to come more. As you can awaken more and have your particle spin move faster, raising consciousness and allowing it to come up from the root and creating you becoming a huge blossom versus the stick, you see? So let's think of what's in that personality. In the root, you need to be safe. That part of you yet hasn't understood that in being with a child of God that you're always safe. Number 2, there's emotions and relationships and the tug and pull. You know, emotions are not real. They've been made up for humanity, sadness and fear and grief. They're not true experiences of a divine being. Number 3, the truth is I'm a child of God. And in that is where you find your safety. And what can be there many times is how you disempower yourself. We talked about the threefold thing last week. And so those of you who have issues with power, maybe you give your power away to white coats, that's a big one. Or you give your power away to people who have high, powerful jobs. You see how I let that word say people make a lot of money, then they must have power, and that's not true. No one, in truth, has more power than you because you have the vital force, the prana of God moving through you. And that is what you must come to believe. And it isn't power that's manipulating or twisting things. It's a power that's love and honor and respect. There's a whole lot of few words here that we need to shift and come around and be different. So use that threefold flame, and I'm going to give you another homework assignment. That blue flame is the one that comes up over your left shoulder. Grab it and run it through that solar plexus. Let's work together to get that raised up to that I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Universe, whatever your word is, source, grab that. Do the whole, it tells you in one of the videos in the beginning how to do the threefold flame. And when you have it up and around you, grab that light blue flame, anchor it to go and move through your solar plexus. And it will touch and transform. It will change thought. Vital force, pranic energy will change thought. You see? So, anyone have questions for me for today about the breath? Breath brings peace and relaxation. Very good. Rebecca, yes, just learning. There's no have tos. The experience is worth so much to each soul. That's why we're here on earth. We're experiencing. What we're doing is maybe fine tuning it to give you more choices. Yvonne, uplifting. Felt good, and yes, it's simple. And she's smiling. So, you can watch this again, and I'm sure you might hear it a different way. We're going to keep going with remake your life. We're going to change it. And you can begin maybe to see, hi, we brought you into a higher lift for your day today. So see if you can now become aware of where those destructive thoughts are, how they're beginning to interfere and try to take over. That's a gift to be able to do that. And the gift that allows it to happen is the love you begin to find for yourself. So, many blessings. See you next Wednesday at 10, and we'll see what's next for us. Many blessings. God bless. See you later. Now I can't get my mouse to work. There it goes. Remember, Friday at 4 Eastern Time, we have meditation together for the Babaji people. Next Tuesday, I'll be doing the healing readings from the angels, and we'll be back here on Wednesday. Blessings.